Hello. I am Lauree in the afternoons. This is 90.9 KCBI. Yes, you ask. I am sitting in my closet. This was actually a schmuck I wore during my rehearsal party. But we are sheltering in place here at KCBI, but that is not stopping us from continuing to come together as community and continue to provide you resources throughout this time. And so today I am so excited because we have got a close friend of mine, but she is a wealth of wisdom. Her name is Dr. Michelle Watson. She is going to be bringing the Corona Survival Kit for dads, but it can apply to moms as well. Without further ado, from the powers of my closet, I would like to welcome Dr. Michelle Watson.
We did it!
Perfect. Well, Michelle, all the way from Portland, Oregon, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, it's a joy. I'm so glad we're making it happen.
I know. Michelle Watson has been a counselor for years, and in that office and in other offices, you started to see, because you founded something called the ABBA Project. And tell us a little bit quickly how your counseling practice led to this heart to connect dads with daughters.
Right. So I'm 59 years old and I've been mentoring young women since I was 19. So 4 decades, whether it's in my counseling office, in churches, camping ministry. And so I've heard so many stories of daughters who oftentimes are hurting big time. I'm sure you've heard it too, because of a lack of close relationship with dad. And dads often, I have found, have no idea that their daughters are in my office crying about them, either wounds from their dad or voids from their dad. And so a decade ago, I was reading in Luke 1, one random Christmas day, about how God told Zechariah that his yet to be born son, John, would help turn the hearts, not the heads, of fathers to their children. And I just got this download from God, Michelle, that's what I want you to do. And I was like, what? I've never been invested in men. I had their daughters. And so I invited 11 dads, 10 said yes, to join me for 6 months, once a month, to see if there was a change in them or their daughters or their relationship. I've made an observation from 10 years of traveling from my planet of Venus to their planet of Mars, right? Men are from Mars. And I have found that men would often rather do nothing than do it wrong. And most men go, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I say, but I know you want to do it right. You know that doing nothing is doing it wrong. So I'm going to help you do it right. And that's what I've consistently found with men over the last 10 years as I've traveled to conferences and speak at men's events, and they come up and open up their stories. You as men, you as dads want to get it right. And sometimes you don't know where to go for directions. And so that's where I come in, whether it's writing books or on my radio program, The Dad Whisperer. I write blogs every other week to dads. And that's really a passion area. I want to equip you as dads to get it out of the ballpark.
So tell me, Michelle, in this time, because I think that this is a unique time during Corona, it's unique for everybody. It's brand new.
And no playbook, like we we're just talking about, no playbook for them.
What are you seeing during this time that is the opportunity for dads in this time, or something that they maybe just need some coaching on right now that you have heard as you work with dads across the country?
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting? I'll share a positive story and then more of a challenging one, but I like that word instead of negative. Did you like that?
I like it. Challenging, yeah.
So, you know, I find that because, again, my area of specialization is dads and daughters, as you can imagine, I have people sending me lots of videos. You know, and the most recent is one of a dad who told his daughter, who is a senior in high school, to go upstairs and put her prom dress on. So she comes down barefoot. Clearly, she's just trying it on for dad. And he's the music, you know, to dance with her, and she's crying and the video's going. But I share that as an illustration of you dads that can look at what your daughter's missing out on right now and come up with a way to reenact that for her. Like take the very thing that she's not having happen, or your son, and find a way to do that exact thing in a creative way. And if you don't know what to do, ask some woman, because she'll tell you what she wishes her dad would have done for her, whether it's your wife or girlfriend or sister or aunt. We as women have ideas of what we think romance and creativity looks like. So you don't have to make it up. Just use us as your resource, because that's win-win. Then we're like, wow, you think what I have as an idea is valuable. But then on the other side, I've talked with even clients of mine where a lot of you men are working from home And what I'm hearing from some is that dad literally is AWOL all day. It's the door is closed.
Yeah.
Don't bother me. I'm at work. And I would just say, don't be that dad. Don't be the dad that says, I'm here, but not here.
Does it go back to they're really busy and maybe they're stressed out, maybe they're looking at retirement and they're like, they just lost their job. So there's that component of stress for dads. But then there's also the stress of like, I've never been around my kids maybe this much and I don't really know what to do if I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I don't want to do it wrong. And I feel like if I go outside of the room right now, I'm going to bite some heads off. So it's better for everyone if I stay here. And I would just say, Dad, set the timer. Like say, I'm going to be in here for 4 hours, but I am going to come out for an hour at lunch, you know? And be the dad that says, is everybody stir crazy and ready to pull your hair out? Let's go eat outside, or let's go sit in the car and let's just go somewhere different. Let's go to a park. Like just change it up. Be the dad who leads that way. I'm telling you, you need a break too, Dad. I always find that they say, tell me what to do to fix it, right? Give me the action step. Number one, thinking backwards. So something that I do with the Dads in the Alba Project, the first month is I say, think to the end of your life. What's one thing you want your daughter to say about you? Write that down, think backwards to the present, and then live that out. Invite your kids to ask that same question. Is at the end of this, come up with a word or a couple words of how you want to live it out, and then do some kind of an art project, right? Color it out, paint it out, draw it out, and then make signs and put them up around your house, because it's going to remind all of you that an end is coming. Let's live intentionally now. So that's number one. Ask your daughter what she needs from you right now. Ask just that simple question, hun, what do you need? Ask your son, what do you need from me right now? It's lunchtime. It's 12 o'clock. What do you need right now? It may be to play with me, to listen to me, to distract me, to wrestle with me. Like it will be specific. It seems like maybe a no-brainer, but sometimes that's what I find is men just say, tell me the line. What do I actually say? Just say, what do you need from me right now? And teach your kids, even in this season, what they may need is just to hang out with their friends. It's like, I'm sick of being with my family. You know what? Let me help hook up something for you on the computer.
That just makes me feel so loved and thought of, just the very act of that question. And I can imagine that very same thing with my dad of, what do you need from me right now, kiddo? And I can hear him asking that, and that would just communicate.
Well, you know what I even said to a dad last week, I'm doing a telehealth session with a dad and a 13-year-old daughter. And that wasn't really fun for her. And I said, what, do you like Dutch better or do you like Starbucks? She's like, Dutch bros. I'm like, Dad, do you want to go with your dad after this? Or do you want him to go get you a Dutch bro? She goes, I have a ton of homework for school. Dad, will you go get her a Dutch bros and bring it back? Her face lit up. Yeah, $4, $5, you can make a forever deposit just by asking that question. Number 3, gather around the table as a family to talk about what each of you is thinking and feeling. You might not want to know more of what each of your kids is feeling, but listen, when I said gather around the table, did you catch that? Subtle thing is we have really in our culture lost the art of gathering around the family table for a meal. Everyone's like, wait, divide and conquer. Dad, you take that one to that sports game. Mom, you take that one to practice. But right now we're all at home. Why not lean in? What is each one of you thinking and feeling? So everyone has to do it together. No making fun of anybody, no criticizing. Another way to say it is, what is your high today? What is your low today? But Dad, you lead the charge by saying, let's do a family meal. Maybe everybody gets to pick different day of the week what their favorite meal is, but begin to gather around the table.
I love that too, because I think that dads are so part of creating the culture in our homes. And the absence of dads or the presence of dads or even their response. And you know, those times like my personality type, I would love to talk about my feelings with everybody. I'm like, okay, what are we all thinking? Let's have a long conversation. But I'm not going to get there if I don't think that the people around the table want to be there, because then that just kind of is like, ugh, I don't want to make them. And so if my dad were to lead the way on that, or just to be like, all right, I'm here, versus the dad that's like, what are we doing? What do you want? All right, let's do this. I mean, that would be a world of difference.
I love that you said, Lauree, is that the dad leads the way. So all the kids, especially your sons, men, are watching how you respond to a woman's emotions,
Yeah.
right? So when
Mm.
dad leads the way with interest, because more is caught than taught,
Yeah.
you're modeling interest, even though truth be told, you might be like, get to the point already.
Right.
How long are we gonna like circle the airport before we get to the point? We figure things out by talking. That's what we do
Yeah.
as girls.
Now, Michelle, halfway through this list right here, I just want to be able to ask the question, because I know that you are the dad whisperer, and your practice and your heart is to be able to help dads connect to the heart of daughters. But to the mom that is watching right now, that is a single mom, that she's like, well, I'm fresh out of dads to be able to sit around a table with people right now.
Mhm.
Like, what would be your response as we're going through this list? Or how would you encourage the mom that's sitting in that kind of dad position as well?
I say, Mom, you can do all of these the same. And remember too, that you have God as a father with you 24/7. You've got Jesus and you've got Holy Spirit. And then three of them never do anything apart from each other. So they're always around you. You are never less than four. So
Yeah.
when you're there feeling alone, like you're leading your family, remember that picture. You are fully surrounded and embraced by the
Yeah.
Trinity. So you have a dad at the table.
Yeah. I love that, Michelle.
You're always covered. Okay, number 4. Reflect on ways that you and your daughter, or you can do this with your son, used to connect when they were younger, when she was
Okay.
younger, he was younger, and bring that tradition back. My dad and I, when I was little, we would get up and watch Saturday morning cartoons so that my mom could sleep in. And we
Yeah.
would eat, big cereal boxes, eat out of our bowls there on the living room floor. We were watching like Roadrunner. That shows how old I am. Like old,
Yeah.
it didn't even matter. It was that every Saturday morning there was this routine. Even now,
Yeah.
if my dad said, Michelle, I'm coming over 8 a.m. Saturday morning, let's turn on cartoons and sit on the floor and eat cereal, I would be over the moon. Dad, if you can't remember, ask your daughter, what were some of our favorite things, your son, when you were little, or get
Yeah.
out photo albums and then bring that back right now. I guarantee you it'll be a hit. It'll be a win.
If I were to
That's
ask my dad right now, he would say, what are some of your favorite things as a child? Losing my tools on the lawn, because I would take all of his tools to go build like a playhouse or a bridge or something. And he would be like, stop forgetting my hammers on the lawn, Lauree. But I love building, and I love doing it with my dad. So we would probably I would be more responsible as an adult
But
now.
look at that though. What would it mean now, Lauree, if your dad, and I know your dad, he's adorable.
Yeah.
If your dad, say you're 15 years old, you're quarantined. What if your dad came to you and said, hey, Lauree, come here. And all he did was gathered up some wood, random pieces of lumber in the garage or at
Yeah.
his workbench, had the tools out there and said, let's make something together. Birdhouse, a box for things in you. What would that be like?
I would love it. I
Right?
think I would love it if he taught me how to change the oil in my car, just to
Come on
like
now.
have him trust me with something like that, and to kind of teach me as a young lady how
Mhm.
to be like more self-sufficient when I got down the road. Like those are the kinds of things, teaching your daughter how to change a tire. I mean, I don't know, it depends on your daughter, right? She might be like, ew.
No, I would have
I
loved that
would
too.
have loved it.
You know what? Rock on. Dad, make a list of 10 things that you regularly do. I mean, it could even, my dad's had to come over and fix my water heater, or my dad had to teach me how to mow my lawn and edge my lawn. I love learning that stuff because, again, like you say, we want to be empowered as women and
Mhm.
not helpless. What better time than now to learn how to do house stuff? Rock
I
on.
know. What are the last couple of tips that you have in your survival
Okay.
kit, Michelle?
This is a great segue then into this one. Join your daughter in the kitchen to bake something with her or cook something with her. And
Okay.
you can either, let her teach you how to cook something or bake something, or maybe you're the one that does that and you could teach her. So Dad, this isn't about getting it right in the kitchen. It's
Yeah. It's
cleaning
just
up wherever,
being in the kitchen.
being in the kitchen, throw flour at each other or whatever. And then
Yeah.
here's the follow-up. You got to take a dad-daughter selfie afterwards. Post it
Okay.
online, hashtag dad-daughter selfie.
Okay.
So there you go.
I like that.
Okay, ready
I
for the
would,
next one? Next one.
yes.
No matter her age, initiate or renew a practice of checking in with her before bedtime and then end the day with giving her positive, affirming words.
Hmm.
I mean, you're all at home now. You're not off doing meetings. A lot of men that I know are cutting off travel right?
Yeah.
Everybody's at home. Why
Yeah.
not for the next 7 days, try this out. Every night before she or your son goes to bed,
Mhm.
be intentional about giving positive, affirming words, especially for that day. It might be that you watched something earlier and you brought it back at night because all day you're thinking, what can I affirm her for? It might be, you know what? I noticed that at dinner, you got up and helped mom with the dishes without even being asked. Or I could tell your sister was getting on your last nerve, and yet I watched you get down and play a game with her. Like,
Yeah.
wow, you showed such character, a firm character too. Watch what impact that has, because the research shows that whatever we've been thinking about or talking about right before we go to bed, that's
Mhm.
what's replaying in our minds all through the night.
Yeah.
You most likely will wake up with happier children by watering the soil of their hearts before they go to bed. So that's another one. Dad, use the time at home to affirm
Yeah.
before bed.
Okay, you were just sharing that, and I have this picture right here. This is my dad and I.
Oh,
Uh, and every night my dad would go to bed and he would go in and you obviously hadn't written your book yet, Michelle, but he was taking your advice. He would go in, and to this day, I still remember he would say, if somebody doesn't like you, and I would say, they have a problem. And he's like, why? Because I'm special. Why? Because God made me. And
oh
like, it was
my
just kind of
goodness.
like, I think it maybe started in middle school, where for girls, that's like, oh, there's a lot of emotion and there's bullies on the playground. And dad just goes, if somebody doesn't like you, it's their problem. Later on, when I was in high school, and it'd be like, Dad, and he's like, somebody doesn't like you. I'm like, they have a problem. But I still remember it to this day. And my dad did something great there.
You know, how many seconds did that take? 15?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
dads, we're not asking you to be, superhuman. It's
Yeah.
that she has a dad that showed up, was present, not perfect. This isn't about
Yeah.
perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. And
Yeah.
you can use the exact script that Lori's dad has used with her. And dad,
Yes.
you might think that your daughter like would roll her eyes going, cause I'm special, like, and make fun of the line. It doesn't matter. It's going
No.
in. It's
Yeah.
going
I love how you said to water the soil of their hearts, so that when they wake up, there's something fresh. I love that. All right, Michelle, what is the last of these
the
7
last
tips
one.
in this survival kit? Yes.
So this one is every day. And I love to say for the next 7 days, because start this tonight, start this today, because
Okay.
otherwise you're going to forget,
Right.
or too many other things that get in the way, and then it just falls off. Every day this week, read a psalm out loud to your daughter or your son. Now, even if you have a daughter or son who is not into God, who is not into the Bible, what I'm hearing, especially in my counseling office, is anxiety is at an all-time high. I don't
Mhm.
know when life as we've known it will come back to normal, or all
Yeah.
these things. I'm not ending the school year with my friends, or graduation and sports has ended. There's a lot of grief going on right now.
Yeah.
And so, Dad, it might be something to try. If you don't know how to be a spiritual leader, and again, you'd rather do nothing than do it wrong, but
Right.
remember, nothing is doing it wrong.
Hmm.
If you open up a psalm, if you don't have a Bible, don't worry about it. Just Google it. I would start with Psalm 23 or 91. Just
Mhm.
pick one of those. It'll be a game changer.
Yeah.
But then you don't have to come up with the words yourself,
Hmm.
but you're reading a script that's already there. Because really, that's my passion, is to give dad scripts. So I think having a psalm that will calm the anxiety
Hmm.
in your daughter or your son's heart, just watch what happens. You could
Yeah.
do 91 and 23 every other night. But by being intentional about how you calm the fears of your kids right now, will help them ground more. And
Hmm.
again, it will also let you become more of a spiritual leader if you don't know what to do. And so there's your Corona survival kit for dads. There it is.
I love that. If you are interested in hearing more, and we have got to, Michelle, when your new book comes out, Let's Talk, it's coming out in August. We will have you back on the show, because I just think that you've got so many great resources for fathers. You can look for her first book right here, Dad, here's what I really need from you, which is a great kind of toolkit for dads. All of her information and these 7 Corona tips
Yeah.
are available over at kcbi.org right now. You can download that and just keep referencing that. But Michelle, thank you for joining us today and
Been a
sharing
joy.
your wealth and your heart, because you really want dads to succeed, and it's so evident and passionate in your ministry.
Yay. Oh, it's been a joy to be with you, as always.
Yeah. I bid you adieu.
You too. Bye, hon. See ya.